This could be huge. Manages to find them.
It's the night of upsets here for the Oceanic Nationals. 8-6 Ruffles up over Knights, 8-6 Rhythm over Order. Can you believe it? I certainly can't. Guys, we are back. It's been two amazing matches that I don't think we can match. I really don't think, surely, right?
I mean, maybe. I mean, we've still got two more, and there's two matches that are pretty clear one way or the others, you would think. So, great potential for another upset, and hey, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I feel like right now, as we head into the Bliss Elevate matchup, should Elevate be slightly worried? This is the night of upsets, or are they too good for that?
I don't know. I mean, again, it's another match where you go, hey, this is an Elevate dub, but maybe it's time to jump on the Bliss train. What is it? Hashtag Bliss up?
Hashtag Bliss up, yeah.
Great opportunity for a big match for them.
I think that, you know, what's intriguing, right, is yesterday I felt when we were looking at these Playdays, I felt that this match actually was going to be match of the day. I figured this was maybe going to be one of the closer matches, and how wrong I was. It could still very well, though, end up being match of the day, but man, has it got some competition now. Bliss versus Elevate coming up very shortly here, and don't know what to make of it, because I feel like, as we've sort of alluded to, anything can happen in the Oceanic Nationals.
Anything can happen, and if Xenox thinks it'll be player of the day, there's a fair chance that it will not be.
Okay, well, fair enough. Let's go and look at the Bliss lineup, of course. For those who used to watch Oceanic Nationals in 2020, these guys were, of course, Ferox. They've added in Repix. I think there's some good potential here, guys.
Yeah, very good potential. I think that, give it some time, Bliss could grow into a relatively strong roster. Again, keeping in mind there's a couple of fresh faces on the team in terms of actually playing competitive. I mean, yes, they played last season, but still quite new to the scene. And, of course, it takes time to gain that experience, so only expect them to improve over time. If I had to pick maybe one player to keep an eye on for this matchup, I'd say Oda. You know, he talked a little bit of smack to me on Twitter this afternoon. He sent me a picture of a Zinger box on a plate, which is honestly a borderline war crime. So he better win tonight. Otherwise, I will definitely be digging into him for sure.
Let's go and have a look at their opponents for tonight. Elevate, who, well, I'm just going to say it. After tonight's results, they themselves have a bit of an opportunity here to maybe build a bit of a gap in terms of the standings, right? Of course, they beat Knights yesterday, 7-5, and, well, Knights lost again. Order, of course, lost as well. Really, if Elevate don't win this, it might actually end up being Rufflecopter by themselves at the top of the leaderboard. So, a huge opportunity for Elevate to really get off to an amazing start to the season.
Yeah, it'd be a very, very good kickstart. And I mean, that's a bit of a double-edged sword, maybe is the best way to describe it, because maybe they know that, and that could place a little bit of pressure on them. And if they've looked at the first two matches tonight and they've gone, oh, maybe we feel a little bit uncomfortable now. Maybe this won't be as, you know, a secure win as we would have thought. But they're just going to back themselves. They should win this matchup. I mean, you've got so much experience on this lineup. You have veterans alongside fresh faces like Fish, for example, who is still a veteran, but not necessarily on this roster. Who's also been stepping up already as well. So on paper, they look incredibly strong. And they just got to convert. I mean, they've just got to show up on the day.
I mean, I feel like that's the sort of sentiment that we put across to Order and Knights, right? On paper, too strong, should be convincing, should be comfortable, all of these things, and yet none of it came to fruition. Still got to go into the map, still got to frag out and do your thing. Otherwise, and as we said, any team can beat any team. Let's go look at the map. Vetoes, though, as I mentioned, going into the map, we will see exactly where we're heading for this third match of the day. You're kidding, right?
Woo! I don't know, maybe. I hope production did get the graphic wrong, but it's looking like we're going back to Oregon.
Really?
Do you reckon we'll go 4 from 4? I feel like there's a real chance.
Not. It's also the second time, guys, I'll point out that Chalet was in the mix.
Yeah, true, but... And actually, that's an interesting point, right? Because you would have thought that of all the teams that wouldn't want to play Chalet and OCN, it would actually be the teams that are in APAC South. So you would have thought that Elevate would actually not leave that window of opportunity, because for Bliss, there's no other higher competition for them to hide strats for. I mean, they could just have banned Oregon and sent it on Chalet, and that would have forced the hand of Elevate a little bit. So, yeah, a little bit disappointed they didn't head there. It would have been fun, I guess, just even to get a bit of a mix-up on the maps. But
what's this done for your expectations, though, I guess, for this this matchup. I mean, we've seen a lot of Oregon tonight, obviously. We even saw it played once yesterday too. Does this continue the trend? It almost feels like deja vu times 2.
Maybe. I mean, I don't think it's really that map that's facilitating these sorts of upsets. To be honest, it hasn't felt like there's really been. It hasn't felt like the teams that are losing, the favorites on this map, are playing bad on Oregon. It's just been fundamentals of Siege that have been falling short in terms of, you know, lacking trades and just looking a little bit lost here and there and not playing at full confidence. So I wouldn't say it's going to continue just because we're on Oregon, but that isn't to say that Bliss could really actually show up here on this map, because again, we haven't seen these exact rosters lined up against one another here on Oregon, or in fact at all.
Yeah. Before we run into this map though, you guys at home could actually be running one of our sponsors, of course, for Oceanic Nationals 2021. So happy to have these guys on board. They've got a latest offer that you don't forget to take advantage of. $4 per week for your first 4 weeks at any Snap Fitness gym in Australia. I mean, that's pretty cheap, so you definitely want to take advantage of that one. For more information, you can type !Snap in Twitch chat, and a big shout out to Snap Fitness for supporting Oceanic Nationals and supporting esports across Australia. So it's a really, really good organization, and always good to be nice, fit and healthy like you guys. Show us your guns. No? Oh man, you really just give me nothing.
Can't show something that doesn't exist, mate. I'm not a magician, so we'll let that one slide. I mean, maybe I'll need to go to a Snap Fitness gym and work on the legs, because
we can do it together. We can do a co-stream. Me and you. Either way,
okay.
Let's head into the match. It's ready to go. Oregon for the 3rd time today. Maybe though, 3rd time is the charm for the team that is expected to win on this map. Elevate versus Bliss. Get your Bliss ups in chat. If you're an Elevate fan as well, make some noise. Well, I don't know if you can actually make some noise. Make some words in chat. Elevate are the expected winners, but Bliss, will they follow the storyline today?
A lot to be unraveled in this matchup, and of course, it all begins in the ban phase. I would love to see a team not ban Thatcher, but at this point, I think that's a little bit of a desperation call. Probably never going to happen, at least not early on, as teams still seem very entrenched in their ways. But Habata is a little bit of a peculiar ban. That'll be one hard breach taken down, and will make hatches a little bit more difficult to be opened up, or at least less efficient. And a mute. I believe Bliss took down mute on Clubhouse last night as well, right? So, yeah, I like that. Very interesting.
Pretty normal bans so far. We're going to get anything crazy from Elevate here to close that out.
Maybe Ying. That would be the only out of left field.
I don't know. I didn't actually think when we saw Boydie playing the Ying before.
It's defense.
Well,
so
yeah, there's that too.
Me.
You're just off tonight, guys, aren't you? What's going on?
Yeah. Look, it is what it is. Got to bring myself down to the same level as Manic and Dev. So.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say me for a second.
Or you, yeah. It's about the same.
So we go to Oregon for the 3rd time tonight. Of course, for those who missed Playday number 1, it was actually the opposite. It was 3 clubhouses in a row. So far, the only maps we've seen is Clubhouse and Oregon for 2 Playdays.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Very, very fun fact. Very fun. I like casting the same map.
I like Oregon.
Yeah, but it does get a bit old. I mean, you know, every map has its honeymoon period. I feel like we're EU League. They had a stint last year, which was just crazy amounts of Oregon, but nothing we can do about it. Maybe we just gotta call what we see on screen. And it's not like Oregon's a bad map, honestly, to watch. Actually, it can be pretty interesting. And in fact, we've seen teams change things up quite a bit over the course of the night, and actually, throughout the course of a single map, we've seen the likes of Unites, despite losing, be really adaptive. We saw in the last match, teams like Order, again, unsuccessful, but be quite aggressive. And yeah, it's really fun to watch. So, not sure exactly what we can expect here from Bliss and Elevate. I would assume Bliss is going to lean more into the aggressive 1v1 mentality, whereas Elevate will be more structured and methodical, but we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out in the server, because that's just a theory.
I'm just going to have to cut you off here. I've been sitting here for the last 30 seconds ready to read out the Snap Fitness community vote, and you will just not stop talking.
Sorry.
I know it's your job. I know you get paid for it, but I got to call this out. 71% to Elevate, 28% to Bliss, which actually makes up 99%. So 1% of you are saying that the match will explode and combust.
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility if the servers go down, but fingers crossed that doesn't happen.
I love you guys.
Thank you. All right, what's happening here? Repix, he's pushing rear stage, looking to maybe get something going, find a couple of picks potentially, or push those players back, and he does successfully push them back, and that opens up the likes of Oda now to take control. And this is one thing I actually quite like to see, some flank watch, hold that thought.
By Didge.
Shuts down Didge. That's a bit over-aggressive, but back to the original point on Oda playing Nomad. We actually, I can't remember seeing Nomad at all, or Gridlock for that matter, at all tonight. We just haven't seen flank watch, and a lot of these teams on the defense are leaning heavily into roaming and flanking. So to me, it does make pretty logical sense to bring a flank watcher.
In saying that though, there hasn't really exactly been a ridiculous amount of flank kills from behind. A lot of them have actually been quite head-to-head. We've seen a couple every now and then, but it's not really been a massive concern. Fisher guy's just been spotted elsewhere on the map. Nice frag for Nazgul, and this is giving a nice little advantage here for Bliss.
What?
Okay.
Not sure what Shade was just doing, chilling in the corner of sight, but either way, Worthy's now left in the 1-on-4, and he's been spotted out, so he's going to be in a lot of strife very soon.
So this is going to go the way of Bliss to kickstart us off for Oregon. I should mention that whoever's won the first round of Oregon all tonight has gone on to win the series. So for you Bliss fans, that's a good little sign.
Oh, so what you're saying is Bliss has literally just won the map in one round.
Oh god, I didn't.
That is some really
so
good
cringe.
forehead analysis, Xenox. I see why they pay the big bucks, mate. I see why they pay the big bucks.
Head over to Kid Storms for the second round. Good start for Bliss. Nice little attacking round early on. Didn't wait too long. Found some good picks.
Ooh, 6 pick there from Vast. Off the pulse onto Kaid, some wall denial being brought to the table, and it's probably a decent idea. You want to be able to deny Games Wall and Attic. That said, we have seen a couple of teams, and one that immediately comes to mind is Rhythm, that have just completely ignored the fundamentals of attacking this site and doing things like jumping through the main window, pushing white stairs. So that's also something Elevate will need to be mindful of, but operators like Fisho on the smoke or Worthy with the Banshees on the Lucy, even the Aruni gates can help prevent some of those pushes as well.
Well, what do you think of Aruni's laser array on double window? I don't think we saw it so far tonight.
I mean, I'm gonna expand on that question and answer it pretty briefly. Like, is Aruni actually even that good? Honestly, I don't think so. Like, sure, you can make rotates, which frees up a shotgun operator, but on this occasion, Fisho is still sticking with the shotgun. The gates do a decent job, I guess, in combination with the Jaeger and soaking some of that utility, but we're not in a utility meta anymore, so it hasn't really felt that effective. And in terms of damage, like, it does like 30 HP damage. Most of the time, attackers, if they really wanted to, could just tank it. So, look, I'm not all aboard the Aruni train just yet, but maybe there's some room for it to be innovated to be a bit more effective. I'm not sure.
Pretty stock standard right now from Elevate on the defense. Besides the fact that Bliss have to deal with these laser arrays, everything else is very much stock standard. So they got the Maverick and they got the Ace to open up this game as well once they can deal with the Electric Law, which they do. So now, Selmas go out, although actually unsuccessfully.
Todd needs to be mindful. Playing inside a bedroom can be quite precarious, a lot of angles as well as the vert from below, but thankfully Nazgul's holding that, and Oda, the flank watcher as well, will protect that position, and now he can begin to work the game's wall. As you can see, that one armor pops off and the second should follow, as there's no impact trick, as Worthy will find a pick below, and he could even take this position down below, so this is going to test that flank watch.
There's like no presence at all from Bliss over towards Kitchen. Worthy getting that kill as well gives Elevate that first floor vert control. Bliss, though, have got a player over in Annie. Fisher guy's got some pressure at least to deal with here. Repix does need a bit more help, though, elsewhere, but Worthy's found a second one, this time onto Todd.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
rough situation to find themselves in now, and Didge, it's a really nice swing there. Stark contrast to the first round here for Bliss. They're struggling. They can't even get in towards the objective. They can't really flush out of these positions effectively. And Elevate, they just need to sit back and wait, establish these crossfires, and the round should be theirs.
Credit to Worthy, really opening up this entire round. Round's not over yet, though. Still could be a chance of a comeback. We're seeing some crazy things tonight. Swing's going to come from Oda, as expected. Actually has a decent position. He can also get the revive onto Repix, so he's back up. If he had found a frag there, I definitely think it's game on. But Elevate, don't peek that. 20 seconds left. And that's going to be the round, surely. Diffuse it down. Repix now in 1 versus 2. Needs to frag out with 14 seconds left. Not going to happen. Worthy started it. Worthy's going to end it.
Yep. Solid response there in this round from Elevate. Not letting it slip away too early. And they'll even up that scoreline 1 apiece. I really liked that setup from Fisher inside of Kids. It was a pretty simple shield, but it made it so difficult for Bliss to push through inside of that pit position at the end of Attic. Not a whole lot they could really do. They were left stranded. As you mentioned, Worthy had a really nice couple of frags there at the start, which only fortified that defense even further. And from there, not much you could really do on the attack.
1-1, all tied up.
Defenders, protect your bombs.
Good round for Elevate. We head down to the basement for round number 3. After they successfully defended Kid Storms. Which is, I guess, a good sign for this series for Elevate being able to win the crucial site. It's ideal. But even in that particular round, even with Elevate winning it, Bliss still looked good. Bliss was still able to get some frags. Kind of bring it back towards the end, make it a 2 versus 3, even after losing a couple of players early. And even as you said, Fisher Guy's position in Kids making it super difficult for them. If Bliss are going to be sharp and their aim game is on tonight, they are going to be difficult to beat.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Downstairs defense here from Elevate. A construction spawned from Bliss, so it looks like they'll probably go for a blue tag tower. Nothing too wild. Saw Repix in the last occasion actually take control of tower quite quickly and really pressure the players in that position, as God Legion actually does get down in time. He's going to contest the angle, but neither player will land their shots. Probably best for God Legion to fall back here. No point throwing away your life this early into the round, but maybe if he backs himself, he'd go for the swing. Air jab, though, will probably hold that.
But if there's 2 players there, if he gets 1, he probably gets traded anyway. Repic's going to just fall away. I don't think really Elevate need to have swung there anyway. God Legion's fine just holding that position. Right now, Blizz aren't doing anything too crazy, too out of the norm.
God Legion in the power position here, over towards the tarps door. Trying to hold out this blue push and support the player inside of Elbow as the utility begins to fly out. Smoke grenades and frag grenades enter the fray, and the shield actually is taken down. So I don't know exactly how Bliss burnt any ADS devices there, but either way, Bisho now in a pretty compromised position and needs to be careful. If Bliss just force this really hard, like we're seeing a lot of these newer teams attempt, they'll be able to trade this out.
Yeah, Bliss look pretty keen on this. Gemini's going to go out. Fisher Guy's just going to give it up and Rio up. So that means Bliss know that they can start to push in through bunker. Oh, it is pretty crucial here, and as I literally say that, he dies. Repix, who was pushing in through bunker as well, fell pretty quickly. Elevate have done well to win a lot of these fights. There's even a team kill. They're doing so well at the moment. Bliss there that they end up taking out a teammate with some of their shots. Shay gets it at least a double. Nazgul playing over at Pillar. 45 seconds left. It's all a little bit rushy in the last 15 seconds, but there's still a bit of time.
Winnable. Still very winnable if Bliss are able to trade this out effectively. Nazgul has control of the long hallway, but he does have the kit. And Shade needs to try and support. That could be a huge nades that it flies out, but it only does a little bit of damage to Fisho, who can now retreat back into safety. And Nazgul, he's been timed. Oh, but he still hits the shot. Fast. Needs to go big. He does find one, but Shade's still up.
Shade's on bloody laundry. He's like on the other side of basement here.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, it's going to come down to time, obviously, for Bliss. Shade needs to get the diffuser and start sticking it.
The bomb diffuser. 5 seconds left.
But obviously going to be giving away his position. You think Vast just comes in and stops this from happening pretty comfortably. So that's going to be...
And this is the impact. I mean, he was trying to do that for style points, but look, he did what really mattered. He got the kill, which was nice. And it was actually a pretty nice play from him in the 2v2 to secure that 1v1 and stay alive. It's often easy in that position that he found himself in to panic a little bit, over-aggress a little bit, but he sat exactly where he needed to. He had faith in his teammates who had the intel and were giving the calls, and it paid dividends.
Right now, it's hard to look past Elevate. They look switched on, making the right plays. I can't help but feel, man, like Bliss are hitting their shots. So much so they got a team kill in that last round.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how that team kill lined up. I feel, I'm guessing a little bit here, but I think it might have been to hit Vast, who was sort of just running around site a bit mindlessly. Like Vast should have been killed there, and maybe he got body blocked by the teammate. Could be completely wrong there because it was pretty tricky to tell, but yeah, I mean, that just happens. I mean, even the best teams hit a team kill every now and again, so not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But obviously not helpful.
No.
So,
Not when the round was there to be won as well for Bliss.
Yeah,
like
for
they
sure.
could have easily gone on and won that round. Right down to the 1v1. So really you take that team kill out, what is that, 2v1? I mean, I know things obviously play out differently, but Chance gone begging. And Elevate's developed as a team in the last couple of months, especially the last like 3 months, Gus, that they will punish that. You know, they don't necessarily play down to their opponents as much as they used to. They got a good lineup now. Fisher guys come in, and with the results playing out the way that they have today and yesterday, there's a real opportunity for Elevate to stamp their authority, win this game, and go on and have a really big season that they could easily accomplish top 2 now. Like, that's a thing that can happen quite comfortably.
yeah, and that's probably something we really would not have said with much confidence heading into this season. It was always the wildcard and Knights show, but Elevate is seizing the opportunity, or at least attempting to seize the opportunity in front of them, which is that top 2 position. Maybe there's a world in which they finish first. Who knows? So many of these top teams are struggling at the moment in Oceanic Nationals. And maybe some of these mid-tier teams will be able to capitalize.
I don't even know if there is mid-tier teams, good teams, bad teams anymore. I think there's just 8 teams. All 8 teams are just playing in Oceanic Nationals, and it's a roulette. Each night, each game, to see who comes out on top. But if this starts to get away from Bliss, if Elevate start to win the next couple of rounds, especially on the defense here, they're going to have to start to switch it up. Maybe go a little bit more aggressive than they already are. Which is not as much as what we've seen tonight from other teams like Rhythm and Roflcopter, and even their opponents. Fast, this is round-changing stuff.
Could have swung there and it probably would have netted him a kill, but either way, it's probably the best play to make and the safest play to make, so can't fault that too much. Elevator probing below, but Bliss aren't really playing into that. Sure, Odu is here over towards Classroom though, but he is holding split. Doesn't trade fast off either, who does find the pick onto Shade. A little bit worrying.
Getting even more worrying now for Bliss here as they lose Oda as well to Worthy, who's just quietly is having a very, very good game so far. But like we've seen in the other rounds, Bliss do get 1 or 2 back, usually after going down 5-3. Now made it 3-4. 50 seconds left in the round. Repix does catch out Vast. It's probably the best that Bliss have looked to be able to win a round for the last 3 rounds.
Oh, Worthy could set himself up for a big flank here as Todd with the kit is getting lit up. I don't think that Bliss know there's a player at the top of these stairs.
Well, they're not positioning like they know. They definitely do not know if Repix is going to put his back there. Somehow Todd does win that over Worthy. He got absolutely beaten up though. and does still have the diffuser in hand with 20 seconds left, pushing into meeting now.
15 seconds to go.
I mean, he knows though the pressure is mounting. Digital was not going to allow him to get that plant down. Elevate, 3 round wins in a row, and they're looking quite good.
We've seen quite a bit of meeting played here by the teams down under, and look, not gonna lie, I'm personally not a huge fan of this site, but these teams are making it work. And look, Bliss probably made that a little bit harder on themselves than it really should have been. Oda, I don't know where he's placing those air jabs, but there really should be one at the top of those stairs, or at least at the bottom of them, so you get alerted to a player's presence down there. So unfortunate
15
there
seconds to go.
for Bliss, but hey, I mean, mistakes like that can cost you rounds, and that was the case.
Vast and Worthy, though, they've been the standouts for me on Elevate so far. I mean, I know we're only 4 rounds in, but they have been the ones making things happen.
Defenders, protect your bombs from
As we head over to kids' dorms for round number 5, we edge closer towards halftime already. This one seemingly getting away from Bliss, but hey, when did I say that? Cuz only a good 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago, when it was 5-2 in favor of Order. So we're seeing bigger comebacks tonight. The only thing I will say is that typically tonight teams have been performing well on the attack, more so than the defense. So for Elevate, I mean, a 4-2 half, or if they can somehow keep this going and get a 5-1 half, it's going to make it very difficult for Bliss.
10 seconds remaining.
One thing to keep an eye on heading into this round is the 6th pick for Bliss, Shade, jumping onto Amaru.
And defuse a bomb.
Now, there's a couple of opportunities here to maybe rush site. You could Amaru into Armory maybe and try and get a few picks. You could even Amaru into Games window or Kids window. Those are the 2 more likely options. But yeah, this is going to be really exciting to track exactly where Shade tries to go. I feel like maybe it'd be wise for him to just rush in late during an execute and catch Elevate off guard, who probably will not be expecting it. I mean, they won't
Like
be.
Kids
because
window or
it
something,
was
like
6 picks.
last
Yeah,
second.
I mean, potentially. Honestly, we don't really see Amari played a whole lot on this site, so I'm just completely guessing here. But yeah, it could be something pretty creative.
I have to see how it plays out. Gives them an option late round, though. I like that. You know, if plan A kind of falls apart, you got Amaru who can just send it in. Maybe catch someone from Elevate out of position. They may not be expecting it as well.
Seems like he's just posting up on the roof, so it does feel like he is waiting for the perfect opportunity to rush somewhere. Where that's exactly going to be, I am still not too sure.
Ooh.
But I am sure that Nazgul has been deleted. Great pick there for Fisher. It's the first of him, or the first pick he will find rather on this map. That said, he has been pretty impactful, but you know, supports, they don't exactly get the numbers on the board. That's just the way it is.
It's all about the team rather than the individuality. Minute and a half left in the round. For Shay, just trying to get a bit of information, a bit of intel. Don't want to be just grappling straight into Kids blind. I mean, like, Fisher Guy's position will just punish Shade so heavily.
Bomb located by attackers.
I think he might go for it though. Honestly, if they get good control of Pit
Attackers recover
and disrupt the player inside of Kids, maybe flash him out or
Yeah.
get him out, who knows?
Well, that's the thing, right? If they can disrupt Fisher Guy's position and he does fall back from Kids, then the Amaru can go in, but there's still other sightlines that they need to clear. I think this is going to be very difficult to pull off. And right now, they're just losing players. Like they have done so in almost every single round. Elevate are just always at an advantage. Shade's still just trying to get rid of Fisher Guy.
I mean,
I think
if there's any
it's-
time to go,
yeah,
it
it's
has
gone for
to
it.
be now. It has to be now.
Flashes and stuns and then just randomly sprays, but Fisher Guy had already moved away from that back position of Kids. Flawless from Elevate. You could sense that Bliss were definitely trying to do something, Guz, but Elevate just holds strong.
I like the intent there from Bliss, something a little bit different, something pretty creative, to be honest, but they never found themselves in a really good position actually to pull it off. I feel like for that to work, it needs to be a 5-on-5, 40-second execute sort of style. Whereas in that case, it was like a 3-on-5, and the round was basically over. And it was just desperation play in the end. So unfortunately, we don't get to see it played properly, and we're probably not going to see it for the rest of the map because it was a pocket strat. So that one will go begging, and yeah, Elevate really extending that lead.
It's a must-win round though for Bliss. 5-1 at half is always just
Attackers need to locate and
mentally
defuse as many
draining
bombs as they
to
can.
think that you've got to come back that far, that you can't slip up at all. Elevator going to be going on the attack, which has statistically been favored so far this season on Oregon as well. So all signs pointing to an Elevate win if they can keep this up. Bliss need to be able to get this basement site. It's imperative.
Yeah, I would agree. Question then is, how will Bliss try to win this round? I think the operator selections is standing out as being too unorthodox. I would like to see, again, I feel like I'm ragging on Oda a little bit here, and this is not intentional. I know he called me out on Twitter a little bit, but I want to see this roam be really snappy, and I want to see those flanks established really quickly, because Elevate have been probing here and there, like Worthy, for example, who's roaming at the moment, have had impactful rounds on that roam. So I want to see those air jabs placed effectively and Bliss actually playing off them, whereas previously maybe they weren't as well as they could.
Definitely feels like we saw more roam play in the other matches tonight on Oregon compared to Bliss's attempts. Elevate themselves, like, haven't been overly aggressive on the defensive roam either. Like, they've had some players down below, but and usually it's been Worthy running around. Vast has also had a couple of moments too, but even they themselves have been quite defensive. It's played well though. Maybe even playing into the hands of Bliss. Like, feels like a round or two ago it was time for Bliss to shake things up. Maybe they tried to do that with the Amaru. It didn't quite work out. Elevate just firmly in control, and everything that Bliss has tried has been shut down.
Blue set up here from Bliss. Repix heading the charge. One of the fresher players to the competitive scene. Repix known as a bit of a ranked demon, but of course competitive is a whole nother kettle of fish. Not a bad map from him so far. I mean, going 34 on entry is respectable, but by no means amazing. And he'll be looking to step that up here in the last round of the half and try and post some numbers on the board. And I mean, he's going to be pretty critical here. I feel like he will be the one to try and enter and get these picks, maybe alongside the likes of Nazgul, who can run that G36 with the 2x and the angled, although I think he's running vert, so either way, he'll do some damage.
Got to deal with the Banshee. Nazgul does just that. And again, it's Worthy with the opening kill. How many of those has he been able to find in this series?
Oh, that's nice.
Nazgul at least swings out, catches Vast. It's a good play to take down, and then they catch God Legion as well. And the trades are just flying everywhere here at the minute mark of round number 6. Worthy 10, 2, and 3 has been popping off in a 3v3 to close out this first half.
Well, the thing is, he's also hit another flank, and now he's in a great position to watch the stairs. You can see Repix and Nazgul are aware, but they're waiting for him to peek. Worthy, he doesn't need to. He can sit here, chill, relax, and provided his teammates on site hold firm, there's no reason for him to push this. So Bliss are in a really bad position.
Yep. 30 seconds left.
Oh.
Picks with the defuse on Worthy. At some point, he is going to swing it, and they know that as well. And that's exactly what is in the back of their minds as a play over in Freezer as well. Worthy does swing out eventually, and he does catch Nazgul, so he took one. But unfortunately, the rest of Worthy's teammates have fallen by the wayside, and it has allowed Bliss to get onto site, get the plant down. Todd watching the corridor, and Bliss will finally get another round win. It took them the first round of the first half, and now the last round of the first half.
Yeah, just to quickly wrap up. Welcome back, folks. It's time for the second half between Bliss and Elevate. And as I was about to say, and I was rudely interrupted. No, not really. We love living, but I was going to just say that Bliss played that round really, really well in the end. Sure, they had Worthy be a bit of a pain in the butt, quite literally, but they just sent it on site and found the picks they needed to, and then could just turn their attention back to him. So I like that intent, and I hope that we see that aggression from Bliss here in the second half on the defense.
Well, I'm happy for Bliss though that they were able to at least close out that second half. The way they started it too, definitely one of their better rounds. 2-4 scoreline though is bang on. Elevate have deserved a 4-2 scoreline. They've been definitely the better team. They now go over to the attacker side, which statistically is a 60% win rate, guys, so far throughout Oceanic Nationals. So it would suggest, based on the stats, that Elevate are in the driver's seat for the remainder of the second half.
Aruni will see an appearance once again here. Bliss using it to shut down some of the angles, or entries rather, from blue. Another interesting pick from Vast here. He's playing over towards Small Tower on the Lion. Could be used by Elevate for the execute. Try and freeze those Bliss players in position and trade them out. And I don't mind that. I really like the Lion pick here and there. Try and catch your opponent off guard. And if aggression really is the hottest word in town, or the hottest meta in town at the moment, hey, why not bring that line?
Yeah, and I think this is what Bliss have to do, right? On the defense, is try and disrupt Elevate as much as possible. Have those roamers. Kind of bank Elevate, though, to win those ones at the times that they do take place. So Bliss have got to be very careful if they are going to deploy that strategy in the second half at any point. A lot more downstairs than upstairs, though, at the moment. Not too much of a surprise. In fact, all 5 of them are downstairs. So very much going for that turtle strat, which we haven't really seen tonight at all.
Yeah, very roam heavy at the moment from a lot of these players on defense, and I guess part of that's due to the meta shift away from utility clearance, and it is quite easy for players to be flushed out. And thank you, Vast, for talking about utility clearance, or at least assisting me in explaining it. Whips out the God 6 and can take down Shade's Banshee at the bottom of the stairs. Rebix knows there's a drone there, but can't find it, or at least shoot it.
I thought he got it.
He's in a very scary position. We've seen this naded out multiple times already tonight.
How did he not get that? Oh, it was like just slightly below. Yeah, okay, I see now.
Yeah.
Nate just trying to clear out Rapix. Doesn't quite catch him. This freezer push has been the most popular strat tonight for trying to push it into basement. God Legion will open up the fray with the early frag onto Oda, the lovable fan favorite. Didge pushing in through Laundry. So they got Laundry and Freezer push coming in from Elevate. But right now it's Nazgul who's found a quick triple. In fact, he shuts down that entire Freezer push. And it's basically Laundry only at the moment. Digital's going to actually have to rotate back across site. 30 seconds left to just try and at least provide a different option here.
Yeah, Digital's walking through meeting there to not make any noise. If you sprint, those footsteps can be heard, so he'll dampen that, and now he'll try and pinch alongside Worthy, but with those Syria gates still up, a player inside a freezer as well.
He's got 2 nades.
This will be tough. This will be very, very tough.
Does have 2 nades available, and in fact, he's just going to run straight through the laser array, but Bliss were waiting on the other side, and in the end, the turtle strat comes out, and it is quite successful to kickstart the second half. The other part, I think you mentioned it before, tanking the laser, like, yes, the damage doesn't do that much, but you're also giving away the position. It's almost like a proximity alarm as well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you burn it, you're going to make sound. If you walk through it, you're going to make sound. I mean, it really doesn't matter either way, but I don't know if Digital, I feel like he threw something into it that round and then still walked through it because it takes a second or 2 to go away. I could be wrong. It just looked like that when we switched to him. But yeah.
He did have 2 nades, so you might be right. He might have thrown a nade
I think
in.
he tried to burn it and he just ran through too quickly, which I'm sure all of us have done before. It's very easy to make that mistake. You sort of have to throw it, wait a second, and then run through, but Digital was, pressed against the clock there. So no fault of his. And yeah, solid round there from Bliss. I liked what I saw.
Have you seen some of the chants that are going on in chat tonight, guys? I got to pose the question to you. What do you think of chat's current chant, which is these winds in the mast, let's go vast? So there's wind in the mast, let's go vast.
I'd probably give that like a 7 out of 10. My favorite Vast copy pasta is the one about his strats being found on like old tablets, or whatever they're called. Like on rocks. How a long time ago they used to write things. What are they called? There's some copy pasta about it, and basically the story is that Vast's age on Wikipedia is like 38 or
38.
something. So, yeah, he's not doing bad for an old man. How many picks
Plus,
is he
so
on at
old
the
he
moment?
might be bold.
Ooh, yeah, not bad. He's got
Yeah.
7-4, so not bad. But he has been put on Lion. And that's basically what you put the washed player on, because you only have to click one button. So, I don't know. Maybe he's been baiting his teammates a bit.
Well, what do we think of this mini comeback from Bliss? I mean, it's only 2 rounds in a row, guys, but at 4-1, it was looking pretty bad. Like we saw in some previous matches, although I might hold this, because whenever there's an E1D going out, it means there could be some pushes, some rushes. Digital does get eliminated. So that gets kind of shut down, and that's one E1D used already. And the Lion coming out, I think it's definitely the first time I think I've seen Lion this season of Oceanic Nationals on Oregon.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really see a whole lot of Lion at all these days. And if we do, it's normally on maps like Coastline or maybe even Chalet, I guess, these days. Super aggressive.
Casual.
Well, yeah, you know all about the casual meta. I can't say I know too much about it. But yeah, you don't really see much Lion at all. It's just really not that great in most scenarios. But if you do want to go for aggressive executes, which I'm sure Elevate will want to.
I think you see Lion a fair amount on Coastline. You'll probably see him on Chalet as well.
I just said that. Do you? Yeah.
I don't listen to you. What are you on about?
Ah, God.
It's a love-hate relationship, guys.
Take away the first word, and yeah.
Minute and a half as things have just kind of dried up a bit in this 8th round. After Dig was eliminated very early on in the round, mind you. There's a second one. Shade's got 2 now. He's just hard to deal with over in Kitchen. Just completely denying this vert control as well from Elevate, and Bliss are looking very strong here on this Kidstorm site.
Oda could be an engagement in double window here in a second, I believe. There's a player posted out there.
Wait, hang on.
Vast
Is
enters
Vast
down
going to deal
below.
with him?
Maybe. That shade that... I think Ring a Rosie here inside of Dining and the Showers corridor. Fisho does find one. Oh, no. Oh, Vast, hit your shots. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
That's unfortunate. And Shade, that's his 3rd in the round.
He is very low, though. But it's down to just Fisher Guy and Worthy. I don't see how they can come back from here. 30 seconds left into the round. Both essentially going to have to push the attic, right? I mean, I don't think Worthy's got enough time to do anything else but push in. Fisher Guy trying to scout out any information, try and see if he can find someone at the back of Kids, and he does. It's Fisher Guy, headshot. Almost got a second flick onto the player behind that shield. Didn't quite attach the bullet to the head. Usually how you're going to do things, and Worthy, well, he's obviously running out of time and space. He doesn't even know where he's getting shot from. He just looks behind him and he's like, wait, there's no one there.
Hello. Yeah, I mean, not bad there from Bliss. Pretty solid defense. Elevate throwing away a few picks early in the round. It really didn't set themselves up nicely for the end. I feel like we cursed Vast a little bit there, talking him up, hyping him up. Probably a couple of people in chat, getting around him. And then he got 180'd on.
So what you're saying is Vast's mast got demastered?
I personally wouldn't.
Is that how? Like, I don't know my ship anatomy. Okay, like I'm not a pirate. But is it demast?
I don't know.
The things we can do on Oceanic Nationals, but probably can't do anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know what to say to that, to be completely honest.
Well, we're going to Kitchen Dining, guys. This is the second time, only the second time tonight. Usually it's Kitchen Meeting. Don't know who this favors, to be honest, but the fact that Bliss have elected to defend here would give me the inkling, not the inkle, as Dev says, that they are probably more inclined to be happy to play this one.
10 seconds left.
Yeah. Not a big fan of that Dev Marta bloke, but yeah, as you're saying, this will be a pretty interesting objective to see played out. I don't mind this extension above into Kids. They've opened the hatch and they've also created angles on the top of that connecting wall. And from there, you can get a really nice long angle into the other bomb site. Thank you, Repel, for showing that. You can see basically from the couch forwards, so pretty powerful. And that will, in many cases, force the attack to actually go above and clear that out. I was getting I got my attention caught by Vast there, who was taking damage, and I was like, Vast, please just don't die again, all right? I don't want to keep hyping you up and you falling short, because then it's a caster curse.
We're tied up 4-4, 3 rounds in a row for Bliss. What a comeback. It's been the night of comebacks, though, the night of upsets. It's the storyline that has played out here for Playday 2 of the Oceanic Nationals, and it's been bloody thrilled to be watching it firsthand. Will it continue, or can Elevate find the strength to just sort of fight back here? God Legion, he himself was also just slowed down a little bit from the earlier rounds.
Nazgul getting a little bit hungry here, peeking small tower stairs as Fisho works the wall with the Maverick torch, and there we go.
Greedy.
He is punished. A little bit greedy, yes, for sure, and Worthy gets another kill on his tally. Oda now is the next line of defense. If they forfeit control of showers, they're going to find themselves in a whole world of hurt.
Could definitely understand sort of just wanting to get a pick there, but I feel like Nazgul can just hold corridor without having to peek that. Now Elevate with an advantage. Second EE1D goes out. Nade's not going to be really doing too much damage as Oda's shield just gets destroyed along with himself.
Yeah, we really need to see someone there try and support Oda. Maybe the likes of Todd come across a little bit earlier and try and at least offer some support. But now, look, the round's basically over. They've got control. That angle that I mentioned above on the hatch is not going to have any impact on this round. Now, Shade and Repix need to pull off a minor miracle, really, to try and bring this back. Sure, Repix is in a great position, but hey, the bus comes into play. He'll be taken down, and now Shade's in the 1-on-5.
I mean, say what you want, but the Lion did have at least a minor impact in that round at times, and it just allows Elevate to push freely. Especially if they've got prior information to the E1D, and they played that round flawlessly. It's on your screen for a reason, and finally Elevate can kind of stop Bliss in their tracks for a bit.
Round 10 now. Elevate with the lead. Laundry and supply is where Bliss are going to head. They're trying to, of course, prevent Elevate from winning the round and heading themselves to match point. Again, if you are just joining us over time, if you make it that far, we'll secure you at least 1 point. If you lose it out, that's obviously the goal for these teams. Maximize the amount of points they can earn. I love the fact that Elevate is still sticking with this line. I mean, I don't know. I'm still a little bit skeptical. I would agree with you somewhat that it had an impact in the last round, but I don't know. I want to see.
I mean, a minor.
I want to see like
I
want to see like a super obvious play where the line directly prevents a defender from moving out of like certain depth or something like that.
I am actually going to say though, I feel like on basement, I think it's actually even going to be like less powerful, right, compared to the other sites.
Depends how turtly Bliss play, right? Because we've seen teams roam quite a bit on this site, but they're not really roaming above, and I feel like the line would be more effective in that sort of situation.
Yeah,
so, yeah, I probably agree with you.
If they're like roaming around like meeting and like outside of just like holding like back stairs or something, sure.
5 seconds left.
But as we've seen sort of so far tonight, the objective is get those 3 hatches open and call it a day from there. Push freezer, and it's kind of rinse and repeat. I don't know if the Lion's really going to do much outside of maybe like the initial push onto site to try and just stop some players, changing position at the last second.
Map sweep here from Elevate. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, so like, my point is, and you can disagree with me if you want, but I think it's more for the site than the roamers.
Yep, I disagree.
Okay.
Just for the sake of it. But as I was going to say, yeah, map sweep here from Elevate. Again, no roamers, so that should be pretty easy. Fisho already 45 seconds into the round, torching security hatch. He'll be able to pop that open and then head over to meeting and work that as well. And that's, of course, a great direct counter to Oda playing the Kaid. He has electrified those hatches with those electro claws. meaning that Fisho needs to get it with the torch. That said, we actually did see last night Twitch used, I believe, by
Really?
who was it? I think it was Rhythm, maybe. I think it was Leb playing Twitch. I could be completely wrong, so someone
On
correct me in
Clubhouse?
chat. But no, it was on. I was on Oregon, so maybe. It
Oh,
was
that's right.
Club.
This is the one Oregon game. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, someone used Twitch to actually clear the hatches, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, using Mav, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just pretty stock standard.
Completely forgot that actually Oregon was played last night as we had 3 clubhouses. How the turns have tabled.
Was I meant to laugh then?
Well, a little chuckle would have been nice. Now I just look like an idiot. That's all right.
Bomb located by attackers.
Ah, well.
It's called a joke, guys. You wouldn't know what that is.
No.
Oh, look at this push. They're just going straight in.
They forgot about Todd though. He's hiding in the corner of blue. Eventually Fisho shuts him down with the pistol, but Shade trades another pick off screen onto Didge. Bliss now are the team on top as they reinforce off elbow and fall back towards site.
Still one EE1D left for Elevate, but yeah, I mean, Bliss are definitely on top now with man advantage as well. Summer charges go out. Worthy is still just popping off. 14, 2, and 6, leading the way for Elevate. The fact that he's still up means that there's still a big chance Elevate could pinch this round. Nazgul's low as well. This is by no means is this over. Especially at 25 seconds left, the EE1D is still available. There's still one last push coming in from Elevate.
A bomb has been
Well, I don't know if they really get much from that. All that does is allow Worthy to just get onto site, get that diffuser down. Fisher guy covering will catch out Shade. Vast knows exactly that there's one in freezer, so he's pinched in there as well, and he catches out Nazgul. I think Bliss are going to lose this one unless Vast dies at pillow, and he does. Oda in a 1 versus 2 against Fisher guy and Worthy. He's got 30 seconds left of time. Vast is down, and he's not going to be successful. Elevate do, in fact, win the round.
I really like that from Elevate. It was a pretty optimistic plan to try and get that down. I didn't really feel like they were in a position to commit to something like that, but the likes of Fisher inside of blue who made that angle shut down such an important cross, and then the other player was holding the long angle, and there really wasn't a whole lot of movement that could have been made there by the defense. So I really liked what I saw there, and that's a great execute to find yourself now on match point. I really thoroughly enjoyed that from Elevate.
Yeah, I mean, Bliss kind of looked like that they had the numbers, but I think Elevate still had a game plan to flush out there, and they did it really, really well. I mean, the Lion, as much as you want to discredit the Lion, guys, it did have, again, a minor impact. It allowed during that that mass engagement, which we didn't actually get to see too much of, but 2 EE1Ds went out basically back to back during that sort of engagement in the middle section of the round, basically at around this point here. So you got those popping off right as this exchange is going on. Then they used the third one right at the end so that they can actually push in and get the plant down. So it did have a bit of an impact. Full credit to Elevate, though. They played that really well.
Yeah, I mean, now really the task is, can they finish off the job? It wouldn't be the first time we've seen a team falter at that final hurdle. Of course, now the pressure starts to mount a little bit. Elevate want full points in this matchup. It's really important for them as they want to continue to, I was going to say Elevate, they want to continue to grow their lead on the standings, which is ever important. So, look, they've still got to knuckle down. Sure, the last round was great, but no one cares about the last round anymore. It's eyes forward into the future.
Exactly right. On to the future, on to Kids Dorms now for match point Elevate. Is there a final twist in this tale, or is this going to be the sort of Cinderella stories that we've seen tonight come to an end here? Elevate, the expected team to win. Bliss, though, to their credit, have actually played pretty good. I don't think they've actually played that bad. I know that yourself, guys, you were doing your co-stream yesterday. You weren't a big fan of Bliss.
Oh,
You said some pretty hurtful things, just so everyone knows.
Jeez,
For all the
I don't
Bliss
think I
Up
was that-
fans in there,
I don't think
let's
I don't
hashtag
think
Bliss
I
Up.
was. I don't think I was that harsh. I mean,
10 seconds left.
do I think that Bliss are a top 4 team? No. Do I think they're terrible? No.
5 seconds left before
Yeah, it's difficult to make assessments this early in the season. What I will say is that
Attackers' objective is to locate
they're not
bomb.
blowing me away by any stretch. I think they have a couple of things that they can probably try and work on. So as long as they're improving as the season goes. That's cool. Not everyone's going to be at their full potential at the start of a season. I mean, all the top teams in quotation marks have been struggling a little bit outside of Elevate. So yeah, it take a little bit to hit your marks.
Man, look at Worthy's stats though, guys. 16, 3, and 6. Like, if he just clutches up this game, like this particular round, gets like a 3 or a 4K, is that enough to secure MVP for the week?
Ooh, maybe. It's a pretty close contest between him and Cutie at the moment, I would say. So he's gonna have to do something pretty big here. Hasn't been a bad performance by any stretch, but I don't think he's quite eclipsed Cutie. He could be the MVP for tonight, though. I'd say he's a good.
I mean,
shot.
Cutie had a pretty good night tonight as well.
True.
Didn't win though.
Yeah.
Depends on how much you put emphasis on winning, because I kind of do. I think, yeah, play is a big factor. And it's something that Elevate are looking to do here to win this series, this best of one against Bliss, who have been brave. Brave doesn't get you points. I need 2 rounds to send it to OT and at least secure 1. They are on the defense on Oregon though, and it means it's less likely to happen.
Bit of a peculiar shield here placed inside of Trophy by Bliss. It will force the attack to vault unless they want to use utility to clear it. It looks like so far Gold Legion doesn't want to waste any of his utility clearing it. That said though, they will eventually take it down. It was a Goyo shield in fact, and that means that they can't push through the flames as of yet. But to be honest, I don't think they're really in a position to push this just yet. They still need to try and clear Attic, maybe get some control inside of Pit. Then they can play off the game's breach that they made, or maybe just try and send it deep in towards the site.
There's something about throwing a drone into the fire that just, I don't know, doesn't sit well with me from a physics standpoint. That thing should have just melted on the spot.
They're fireproof. They're advanced technology.
Ah, right. Yeah,
right.
yeah. Coated in some special gel. That means that they can't. Yeah. Okay. 35 seconds left. Elevate. I thought they were actually going to be pushing in quite quickly on this site, but have elected not to. They've really slowed it down. That's the second EE1D that has been utilized now by Vast. Has got 1 remaining. Worthy and Vast now pushing through Attic. Could go for a Kids plant because Nazgul's the only one that's in Kids at the moment, but he's also drawing his attention away from Kids. In fact, so much so he gets the headshot onto Worthy. The round's over.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that was... I don't know. What went wrong there for Elevate? They just... I guess they never dislodged any of the players in Bliss and applied enough pressure. They kind of just held their ground and won the ones as they filtered through. It was nothing fancy really from Bliss. Sure, there was, I guess, a nice angle there under the double window. Maybe that peculiar shield here and there. But yeah, that was just super weird, to be honest.
Well, I mean, that was really good though from Bliss. Like, I think they just timed their swings right. Like, I think that they just swung at the right time, peaked at the right time. And it's just one of those cases where, like, literally 5 players for Elevate, all 5 of them just die at once. I swear, like, the kill feed had, like, all 5 of them in the space of, like, 5 seconds.
Yeah. It's basically the first player fell, and by the time we switched to the next, everyone was dead. So,
yeah.
Unfortunately, a little bit difficult to read into that round, but oh well, we'll reset. Just like I'm sure Elevate will, who are still on a match point. They can head back downstairs. This is their last opportunity to get maximum points here against Team Bliss. It's matches like these that the top teams need to be winning, be in contention for top spot at the end of the stage. And Elevate, they know that. They'll be looking to convert.
Was there a team that was down 4-6 tonight? Was it Riflecopter or Rhythm? I can't quite remember, but I'm almost convinced one of them was down 4-6.
Well, be whichever game went into overtime, which I think was only the Ruffle game, right?
They both went overtime.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
He's got the memory of a goldfish.
Yeah.
Look, I won't ask you anything anymore. That's okay. I'll just say any sort of stat questions, I'll just message and PM Dev.
He's probably,
actually
he knows what
get
he's
back to
doing.
me with an answer. Yeah. 5-6
5-6
though. Bliss looking to send it to OT for what would be our 3rd OT of the night. And Guz joked about it yesterday, and somehow it has come to fruition. Well, maybe not just yet. If Elevate can close this round out, they're on the attack. We're down in basement. Little roam clear at the moment from Digital on the Yana, which is we're seeing is becoming a lot more prevalent.
Ooh, I like that little drone spot too, placing that in addict. I guess if any defenders want to rotate late using impacts to that position, then they can have eyes on it, which is really cool to see. I like that. Don't think
Yeah.
anyone will really be flanking though, as we can see all 5 members from Bliss on site. And this is probably going to play out quite similarly to Elevate's last attack. Fisher guy will now come in, open the hatches. Actually, yeah, he will open the hatches. I paused for a second because Bliss aren't being paid this round, but they're obviously not going to use Summers on the hatches. That wouldn't be effective. So Fisher will still have to do that task, and the rest of the team will set up the flank watch, set up the intel, and then they can start thinking about exactly how they want to clear sight and get that diffuser down.
What was the phrase that you used earlier? Turtley?
Totally, yeah.
Turtley. Bliss, I think right now they're being quite turtley.
Yeah, I think that would be a fair assessment, fair analysis.
Well, except for one. Ah, no, never mind. Repix is... Well, I mean, like, honestly, it's an aggressive position. He's just been droned out, so he'll just fall back through Freezer. But, like, even just that Freezer stairs position is something that Bliss didn't even do last time. Yeah, bunker down for the Freezer push, though.
A bomb has been located.
Which is interesting, right? Because Todd actually did play the castle, so I don't know where he's exactly placed. It looks like one at Type Store, not sure where the others are, but let's not worry about that. Todd's now forced out of blue as the grenade, in fact, will push him back. He'll reinforce off elbow as Nazgul finds a pick. And it starts to get a little bit dicey now for Elevate. One of their top fraggers, and the Zofia nonetheless taken off the board. How they try and shape up for this plant? They'll probably try and get control of long, maybe even open up that cross inside of elbow. And Bliss, they need to try and deny it. Last time they struggled, and I think this time it will still be a challenge.
Well, trades back, though. Nazgul immediately gets Digital, who ran out and got Todd. Fisher guy. Does he catch one here? It really changes the round back for Elevate, because right now they're down a player, 20 seconds left. They're at a disadvantage.
Ooh.
Somehow just catches the head of Repix and Freezer. He's going to get a second one? No. Oh, man. Like, peeking, that's risky. Shade did find a C4 kill onto Worthy as well at the same time. 10 seconds left. Vast just pushing in past the Banshee. But Vast has got to get the diffuser down, and he knows that there's players around him. He doesn't even have time. Bliss have won the round. We go to OT for the 3rd time tonight, Guz.
Well, if you're a fan of Oregon, you'll be having fun tonight. That's all I'll say. My word. I don't think I've casted this many rounds of Oregon in a row ever. But yeah, but really well played there by Bliss. Honestly, really, really well played. The only salvageable thing there for Elevate really was that Fisher guy popped off again once inside of elbow, was, you know, giving his team a lifeline, but it just wasn't enough. I think those castles from Todd slowed them down quite a bit, and then when they got into that sort of plant phase, it was just very awkward for them, and the aggression from Bliss paid off.
Oh, I'm just pumped to see another game go to overtime, Guz. I think it's also good for the Bliss fans as well. New organization, new fans coming to watch Siege. And right now, witnessing a bit of a classic here as well, because Elevate is a top-tier roster. They've been in some hot form. Top 2 level form, really, in the region over the last month or so. And Bliss have taken it right up to them here on Oregon and have an opportunity to continue the trend tonight, which is the underdogs prevailing. They go defense first on Kid Storms. I tell you what, if they win this round, I put the money on them to go 8-6. That's what we've seen tonight. 8-6s across the board.
Well, you know what we can say now? Roffelcopter are going to be the top team in Oceanic Nationals, regardless of how this plays out. Because actually, no, they won't, because they won in overtime. I keep forgetting that. I keep forgetting that key detail. I thought I was making like a huge storyline here that somehow Roffel would be top of the league, but I mean they could still be equal first, depending on whether or not Elevate win here.
They will be, because they don't have the map difference that Elevate. Elevate's not going to have the map difference.
Yeah, look, I don't know. It's a bit technical. We'll just say they're equal first now. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, again, another friendly reminder that this is not like old times. Both of these teams will get at least 1 point here. If you lose in overtime, 1 point. If you win, 2. And I think Elevate will probably be happier to be on the attack here. Probably the more favored side. And need to see if they can actually kickstart OT with a win on, or a round win on the board. Some of these executes from them have been a little bit sketchy, to be honest.
I kind of just feel like Elevate needs someone other than Worthy to step up. It's been the Worthy show, and outside of him fragging out, no one else is able to find kills or be consistent enough over a couple of rounds. Whereas Bliss have had a bit more of an even spread across the board, a more 5-man solidified team putting in work. Air jabs out from Vast. Really worried about the flanks and the roam, but it's something that we haven't really been seeing from Bliss.
Well, actually, we're seeing Todd. We can switch to him on the Jaeger. He's at the bottom of the rear stage stairs. It could flank up to these players over towards Attic. Whether or not that'll come into fruition, we'll have to wait and see, as action's going down over towards the games wall. I swear, Todd is still playing over there, right? Yeah, we can see him over near towards Vast. So this could be a very awkward engagement if the flank watch isn't there. And Todd's going for it right now. Oh, this is very sneaky.
I mean, this could actually be map changing. Vast has an inkling here. Don't know if he has full info. It looks like he kind of does. By the way, he's playing, places down another air jab. Todd could fall off this, rotate to the other side of the map. He doesn't need to commit to this. I mean, he's already kind of done enough putting a bit of pressure, but then if he does rotate out of this position, they do lose full control of Attic.
Ooh.
Digital does find the opening frag onto Oda, playing at double window. Nazgul and Kids, there's still a player at least in both Kids and Dorms for Bliss in this overtime defense. Vast is pretty safe over here as well in Pit. He knows that no one's going to be pushing through that Attic unless they deploy those air jabs. 20 seconds left. This is Elevate's time to shine.
Todd now is going to commit to the flank, keeping in mind there was an air jab placed on the roof. He doesn't see it though, and he gets knocked to the ground. Vast, though, still wins the gunfight. Todd doesn't catch him off guard as he pops back up. And now Nazgul is left in the 1-on-5. Make it a 1-on-4, but surely he cannot win this. He's under a lot of pressure from a lot of angles, and Elevate should be able to just close this out.
There's too many angles here that Elevate don't even need to peek from, but Dig gets a little hungry and he finds himself a snack on the Nazgul. Overtime match point now in the hands of Elevate, and if tonight's trend is anything, the team that does win the first round in overtime does go on to win the map. So there's a few trends out there, guys. I feel like they all just counteract each other, but I should point that out. 8-6, 8-6 tonight were our two score lines earlier. 7-6 at the moment to Elevate. But it is going to be Bliss on their attack. So it is likely that they can pull this one back.
Of course, it will be Kids Dorm. 6-bit coming out from Fast, so he's going to hop off Kaid potentially here, maybe play another form of wall denial. In fact, no, he's going to jump on Maestro. So he'll probably bring impacts in the pocket, and that will directly counter Todd playing Ace with the Selmas. So expect him maybe to get aggressive over towards games. I know in the last round, Oda ended up playing over towards double window on the Maestro. They're not quite the same playstyle as what I am expecting to see here. But I would like to see that wall get denied a bit more aggressively here from Elevate. Just try and slow down the progression from Bliss. Try and choke them out for that late round.
Oh, jeez.
not literally choke them out. You know what I mean.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Jeez.
I like your phrasing. No, I rate it. I do.
Oh my god.
10 seconds left.
Oh, to be a Bliss fan in this situation though, down overtime match point to Elevate. Pretty big game. Obviously for Team Bliss, they beat LFO last night. An opportunity here to get another 2 points. They've got at least one secured. I think that's going to be at least the main takeaway from any overtime win or loss, is that if you lose in overtime, it's not as bad. And you've also forced your opponent to also lose a point. So it's even double the effect. It's not even like they get 3 and you get 1.
Repix quickly takes Armory. And Trophy. My god, that swing was
Aggressive.
1,000 miles an hour there from the defender. Was that Fisher?
I think he was
that swung?
expecting that swing. Yeah, it was Fisher guy who just took a big chunk of damage.
I couldn't even tell. It just looked like a flash of red neon across my screen, or orange neon.
If he had got that kill plus the position he's got now as well, what a start that could have been to the round for Repix and Bliss. Still a good position to hold
Bomb located by
currently.
Oh, did they? Oh no! Elevate fast. That is a huge brain evil eye there. He's placed it inside of the closet
Oh
and
my
denied
God.
the initial Salmers. Oh my word!
How did they not see that?
I've seen Silex do that in ranked of all people. That's how big brain that play is, and it works out for Elevate. Burns up a little bit more of that utility on the side of the attack, and oh, that's really got to hurt the back pocket of Bliss in terms of that utility.
See the laser array as well on that double window, and it kind of just gives a peace of mind to whoever's in dorms, right? That they don't have to keep such an eye on it in case someone somehow sneaks in. Of course, we've got the barbed wire there as well. We saw an overtime order try and do a rush through there, and they got absolutely slaughtered. Minute left in the round. Repix is low, but in turn, Vast and Fisher Guy both extremely low as well.
50 seconds left now, and I don't think they'll be able to get that wall open fully, so this is going to be very, very rough here for Blitz. Yep, Todd, that's confirmation. No sun was left, and I don't think they can even enter pit either, so this is very, very scary. Worthy's below probing. Big C4 comes out, and it hits the mark. That's Todd taking down, and I think we can probably say that's the round. They do actually have an entry in towards pit, though, so maybe with that cross being held by Nazgul, they can get something
He sees
going.
the gun. Yeah, he's seen that gun. He's just expecting someone to take the peek, but Nazgul gets pushed away. Oda finds one back as they're going to get the defuse down. Oda planting on site, 20 seconds left. Shade watching from double window. What a peek! And a swing from Vast. Elevate looking to close this out and send Bliss packing. Oda's not giving up on it yet, though. The plant is down 38 seconds. Pushing up wide stairs. Nazgul just catches Vast, though. Sleeping. Shoots him in the back. And though taste of his own medicine, there's Worthy also pushing white stairs. Oda in a 1 versus 2. He's got 25 seconds left to hold on. Pushing through, he's got 3. He needs the quad to win the round and send us one more round further. God Legion in a 1 versus 1. Oda's got no health at all. He should win this. He literally just hip, well, he doesn't hip fire spray, but he sprays across his hip. And Oda just goes down. And Elevate will take Oregon 8-6 over Bliss. GG, what a match.
A good fight put up there by Bliss, but Elevate proved too good in the end. A clutch there from God Legion. He only had a couple of seconds left in the end, but he pulls it off. 2 points in the bank for them. Not the best result. They would have liked all 3, but hey, you take what you can get here in OCN.
Especially the way that the night is going, Elevate would be just happy to get out of that one alive. Massive performance from Worthy, 18-4-9, really leading the way from an individual standpoint. Of course, across the board, Elevate played really, really well as a team, but Worthy the standout. Bliss, though, gave them everything they had. They had a really solid punch, and Oda, right down to the very end, Guz, still a huge opportunity to try and send it to 7-7, but too much for him to do individually. And it is Elevate who ends up closing out our 3rd map of Oregon tonight.
Yeah, all I'll say is if you didn't eat your Zinger box off a plate, mate, you would have clutched that. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that one. Yeah, anyone but Oda probably would have clutched that.
Yeah, okay, whatever. You two have your own little beef, your own little rivalry. I thought it was a really, really solid effort from Oda. I picked up 3 kills in that round, got the plant down. It was a really, really good effort to try and send that to 7-7. The good news for Bliss, though, guys, is they do walk away with at least 1 point. They won yesterday as well, so that's like 4 points now for them after 2 games played, and one of those being against Elevate. I think they're all right. They're pretty happy with that.
I mean, yeah, if Elevate now are equal first in the league, to take a point off them is actually a pretty solid result, right? It probably positions Bliss maybe now as just edging on the top 4, maybe that 4th team. And again, we weren't expecting that heading into this season, or at least I wasn't. I thought Blitz and probably bottom 2, but hey, they put up a good result tonight. They played some decent Siege, and yeah, I'm sure they'll be not over the moon, but you know, they've got something out of this match at least.
Literally, 1 point, and a team that has gotten 2 points out of this match is Elevate, which we've got an interview. Man, I can't speak after the night we've had so far. There he is, Digital. Welcome, congratulations. You avoided defeat, which is something a couple of other teams couldn't quite do tonight. Bliss really giving you guys a good shake up there in Oregon. Just from your own perspective here, have you been watching tonight and how it's played out and thought maybe for a second it's about to happen to you guys as well?
Yeah, I've paid attention to the other games a little bit. And we had seen that there have been a couple of upsets but didn't really. We tried to sort of go into the game saying, we're going to break the trend, because we definitely think like this was our game to lose. And yeah, thankfully we ended up scraping the overtime win.
Yeah, I guess with those points on the board now, if my math checks out, you guys will be equal first with Roffle, which isn't a bad place to find yourselves in. Knights, unfortunately, lost 2 games straight. So I'd say there's a real opportunity for you guys to finish first, maybe second in the league. Is that what you're eyeing off at the moment? Sort of what are your thoughts, I guess, on just the whole situation with the Knights and maybe some of the other teams that are finding it a bit hard?
I think you put it like perfectly earlier. Like obviously, like I think no matter what league you play in, you just gotta you gotta win. Like, because this league's still imperative. So you need to be winning your games here. It's the ticket to South APAC. So you need to ensure you're doing well in everything. And I think that's just a good sort of ethos to have, I guess. Just win everything and you should be right. But after tonight's performance and the fact that we're equal first, I feel like we should be first. I feel like the fact that we only got 2 points, that's Bliss's win there. Like, I feel like this season, we consider ourselves easily top 2 team. And with the progress of the Fish Show, I feel like we're only getting better. Yeah, I feel like today was definitely shaky. Not our best performance by far. But I know it is what it is, and I can't be droopy about only 2 points. We just got to focus up on the next game.
Well, the next game is actually Rafflecopter, so it's 1v2 there, right? So you actually get that opportunity immediately. If you win that, you are out and out first. No one's tied. There's no tiebreaker or anything. You control your own destiny, I guess, essentially for the rest of the season. That's a really good thing to have for you guys. So because of that, whatever expectations you may have had internally coming into the season, would they now shift to top 2 pretty much? Like, got to get top 2 here?
Yeah, I feel like 100%. I mean, at the end of the season, there'll be a LAN. We expect obviously to play our best and to win that as well. So, I mean, our expectations are definitely of the highest. Haven't really changed, I guess. Yeah, that's just. It's not like all of a sudden we've won a couple of games and okay, we can actually do this. Like I feel like we felt this way at the start of the season, and it'll stay that way for sure.
Anything else, guys?
No. All the best. All the best next week. I think you guys versus Roffle will be a pretty crazy game. So have fun.
Yeah, should be good. Love those boys. So yeah, GG's guys. Cheers for the cast. Love you, lads.
Awesome. Thank you, mate. Have a good couple of days off, and we'll see you next week. All right. Well.
Wait. Can we just wait. Can we just? Oh no, the ticker went away. Did you read the ticker through that interview? It was like.
No, I was doing the interview.
Don't mess with Guz's guns. They're huge or something. And then he's like, don't tell Xenox. Something like that. It'll come up in a second. Make your point, and then we can.
I don't believe that. All I see is the mountain of Elevate was too tall for Team Bliss, which is said, I think, perfectly here. Let's go and have a look at some of the statistics. 8-6 for Elevate over Team Bliss, which was led by Nazgul, having a pretty good performance. 13-9 overall. Definitely a good, solid team performance from Team Bliss, but Elevate too good in the end. I think Worthy had more than 17 kills. I could be wrong. I thought he had 18. But Elevate, they're looking like a top 2 team. Yeah,
I guess this acquisition of Fish Show and Veloska behind the scenes is really paying dividends for Elevate, and I really liked what Digital said in the way that this team's only going to grow more. Fish Show literally has been on this team for a couple of weeks. You can't expect anything amazing in that sort of time frame. So the more experience these guys get as a team in Oceanic Nationals, in the APAC South League, expect them to get better. And look, maybe by the end of the year, they could be like that Wildcard 2.0, just completely wiping the floor. Of course, that's a long way away, but yeah, I think they're on a really good trajectory at the moment.
Look, I think that both teams take something out of this, and I think that's the beauty of the new format with Oceanic Nationals 2021, right? Like, if it was last season, Bliss get nothing other than just hard fought, loss, good, looking good signs, all that, thumbs up. But now they actually walk over the point, so they can actually get something against a good, solid team as well. Like, not every team is going to be able to get a point against Elevate, for instance, especially with the way that they have been playing. It's good signs. They've been doing good. And then for Elevate's sake, yes, they don't get all 3, but 2's still pretty bloody good. and they're happy with that. Of course, they go to 5 points out of the 6 that they could have gained, and they've got a top of the table clash next week. Isn't that going to be great? We are going to head to a break, guys, but we still have one more game to play out. Can you believe it? I'm sure it's going to be a 4th overtime to come. It's Wildcard versus LFO.